I am your host, Rose. And today I'm very thrilled to have such a wonderful guest. Her name is Brenda, and I met her through her daughter, Miss, about 6 years ago.
Honored to be a guest, to be a part of this experience with Rose Whaley. My experience with her has been very rewarding, and the relationships that she has developed with my daughter as well. Basically, I'm here to kind of talk about the experiences that I've had in my travels in Egypt and in West Africa. My background, religiously speaking, was I was raised in a Methodist church, born in New York, matter of fact, born in Harlem Hospital. And when I was raised in a Methodist church, every summer we would go to Bible school, Bible study, but it was always something that was doubt in my mind about the theology, I guess you could say, or the doctrine of Christianity. And it was in the 60s when I became about 15 or 16 years old, I converted to the religion of Islam. Over the past, I would say the past 10 years, since around 1992, reevaluating my life and my perspective on religion, I have converted again, and I consider myself now a born-again African, because when anyone looks at me, the first thing they see is my Africanness. The last thing they see is religiosity. They don't see me as a Christian, they don't see me as a Muslim, they don't see me as a Buddhist, but they definitely see me as a person of African origin. So my experiences have been through reading and studying and traveling. And I was introduced to a brother by the name of Dr. Ishakamusa Barashango, who has since made his transition. And one of the first things he asked us when I first met him was, "Where are you?" And everyone in the audience said, I'm in Virginia, because that's where I live now, in Virginia, at that time Virginia Beach. And they said, "I'm in this room, I'm here." And so Dr. Barashango opened up a book that was a large book. The pages were 11 by 17, both pages. And it had a photograph of what we call the solar system. And he had the planet Earth and, the planets laid out, just like how you study as a child. And so he says, "Well, where is this?" And people said, "Well, we call that the heavens." So then he says, "Well, where are you?" And it was a paradigm for me, because here I am all these years being taught that heaven was another place. And from a child I had been taught that this solar system was the heavenly bodies. So that's when I became born again, because I realized that I'm already in heaven physically, and that a state of mind is really where you want to be, whether you're in the spiritual heaven or the spiritual hell. But I knew I was already in the physical heaven. So that was a big change for me, a big reevaluating who I am, where I wanted to believe, and what I wanted to be. And I got on a path of trying to master and understand. I call it self-mastery. Understand myself and understand my connection to the mind, body, spirit. And that's kind of a little basic background of myself.
That's great. But I want you to elaborate on your trips.
Oh, sure.
Back in going to Africa. How many times have you been?
I've been to Egypt 3 times, and I've been to Ghana twice. I've been to, the first time I went to Egypt, I went from Cairo, which is in the northern region of Egypt, where the people look more Egyptian or more European, and that's closer to the northern part of Egypt, not in Alexandria. And we traveled from the south, from the north to the south of Egypt, where we went to Luxor, Aswan, and Nubia. And when you go from north to south, what starts to happen to people? They go from lighter to darker.
Right.
And so in Nubia is where you see the rich culture and the people that we more identify with as being as being of African descent. You know, people have a tendency to see Africa as one big state, but Africa is a continent.
Right.
And so in Nubia, I saw, you know, the flavor, the, you know, the rich, the Nubian, the,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the African, in Aswan and Nubia. So that was my experience in Egypt. And, you know, the people, I understand, who came up out of the Sudan,
Mm-hmm.
and the Dogon people are the people who migrated into Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
where the civilization, they believe, really just took on a fast pace and gave the world everything that we know of today in terms of Christianity, Islam, Judaism. Because when I was in the temples traveling with our tour guide, Dr. Azrael Kwesi, we were able to see all the symbols that represent what we call religions today.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had another opportunity to go to Egypt, and we were in Egypt and we left Cairo and we went to Ghana in West Africa,
Mm-hmm.
where it's Egypt is more of a Muslim country, where Ghana is you find all the religions there, primarily Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, and a large influx of colonization, just like you have here. But you really see the richness of the people when you identify with the people. We look just alike, you know. You see your cousin, you see your mama, you see your, you know, and the rich traditions that we have kind of lost sight of here is the respect for the elders. I was traveling with a relative of mine who's 76 years old, and everybody calls her grandma, and they call me auntie, you know, because there's a hierarchy of respect for elders that we used to have, that I know,
Right.
that I was raised with, that has kind of gone by the wayside. And everybody can call you, you know, whatever they want to call you. A child can call you, you know, their equal. And that's something that is not in the culture in Ghana. Yeah.
Okay. Kind of elaborate, because we started off about the religion, because I know from reading John Henry Clark, which is a black historian who traveled the world, that African people are truly spiritual people, not religious people. I haven't been to Africa, but I'm hearing that a lot of the bogus Christianity that they put on us here is over there now.
Sure, yes. People of color, and especially people of African origin, we have been conditioned and colonized all over the world. You know, history teaches us an excellent book is The Destruction of African Civilization, as well as Stolen Legacy, and a host of other books.
Oh, this one?
Yes, Stolen Legacy by Dr. George G.F. James.
Right.
And The Destruction of African Civilization by Chancellor Williams has taught us that you know, African people and people of color have been colonized all over the world. I've studied geography. I have a background in geographical information science, and I know if you see a picture of the world, of what we call the globe, you can see that it's just a puzzle. If you put it back together, it all comes back. And it is believed, and I was taught this at the university, that the Earth was at one time an island. It was called, the term for it is a Pangea, and another term that they use is I think it's called a Panthalassa. I'm not sure if I'm, you know, pronouncing it correctly. But that just goes to show you that if the original people of the world, we populated the entire world. And through catastrophic climatic conditions, the world was separated through earthquakes, and so it branched off. So wherever you go all over the world, there are people of color. However, if you watch CNN News, you know, they only focus on the people who look European, and that is really so because they've gone everywhere and given everybody a European God.
Right.
You know, people don't worship God in their image and likeness. They worship God in a European image and likeness because it's a part of the colonization of the mind and a part of the control of, you know, of the world. This is